Good evening, friends. Thanks for hanging out Bridgeside for another Monday night edition of Bridgeside Sports Live. I'm your host for this evening, Mike Boo, and I'd like to introduce you to the rest of the panel. So right to my left, we have Dr. Phil, Mr. Doctor Sports Science.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome.
Thanks for coming.
Mr. Doctor.
Of course, always.
Mr. Doctor.
Back
Mr.
from vacation?
Doctor. Yeah, we're California, right?
California, yeah.
Beautiful place.
Yeah.
All right.
AT&T Park.
To his,
Caught a game in the AT&T Park.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How was it?
Beautiful
It's one
stadium.
of the nicest
beautiful,
ones.
beautiful stadium, right on the water. I mean, the team's terrible, but help me, I got cheap tickets.
Did you hang out in McCovey Cove? Catch some?
I did not
home
go into
runs?
McCovey Coves. No, it was a 2-1 game, so there was no home runs. But Goldschmidt rips.
Very nice. All right, and to his left, we have he made his first appearance in a while last week. He was also on vacation. I don't know what's with these guys. They're going on vacations all the time.
It's the summer,
man.
I don't want to hear it. I didn't go anywhere. We have Win. So Win, nice to have you back.
Thanks,
It's been a
bro.
while since we worked together.
It's been at least a month.
Yeah, I miss it,
Best
man.
month of my life.
Well, so Mike just said, I miss you, and Wynn said,
This is why you
That
understand.
seemed-
It didn't seem real.
This is why I try to be nice to you, and then you can't do it because I got to hear.
I don't need
got to
you-
hear back talk.
back-
like
I don't
that.
need you to be nice to me.
All right.
Actually, this
Whatever.
is the first time all four of us have been on for a
for
while.
quite a while.
Yeah.
I think before the extravaganza, the July 4th.
The extravaganza.
The extravaganza. We're still recovering from that. And then we have rounding out our four-person panel. We have the analyst Chris Ventura.
What's up? What's up, people?
Thank
How
you
you doing?
Thank you for that. And then we have to mention for the first time we have a five-man crew. We got DB, Mr. Donald Boss. He's our statistician for the night. He's over there with sunglasses on and a headset. I'm not even sure if it's plugged into anything, but he's our special little guy, and he just
He's a special little guy. He's flying a plane when he's done.
yeah.
Stat checker. What up, fam?
So it'll be very good. Donnie's going to bring us some stats. So he's going to do some of the work for us today. So we're excited about that.
Thank you.
So I just want to introduce everybody to the question of the night. Get it started off early. Some football news. We're going to talk about the Miami Dolphins a little bit later and their decision to go with and sign Jay Cutler over some other quarterbacks out there. Mainly the one we're going to talk about is they could have signed Colin Kaepernick, but they decided to go with Jay Cutler. We're going to talk about, is this the right move? Is Jay Cutler any good? Is Kaepernick any good? What are they doing down there? Their reasons behind it, and kind of how's it all going to shake out in Miami? So if you have any opinions on that, you want to talk Kaepernick, he's always a hot button issue. You want to talk about Cutler, he's also been in the news in his whole career. So,
Always.
I mean, two very controversial guys. They went with Cutler, and so we're going to talk about that later on. That's the question tonight. If you have any questions, did they make the right choice in going with Jay Cutler over Colin Kaepernick? All right? But we're going to start with baseball tonight. Yankees and Mets. We're going to talk hometown a little bit. Let's start with the Yankees, right? Yankees, they came back. They actually took the lead over Boston. They were 3-4 games out. Then they hit a little bit of a hot streak, and they took the division lead only to quickly give it back up to Boston. So now it's been a couple of weeks after these trades they made. So let's just talk again. Like, what do you guys think about the trades the Yankees made around the deadline time? And, is it going to work out for them? So let's start with Win. What do you think about the trades they made?
I think they're still going to work out. Gray's only started one game. I think their bullpen is still the best in baseball. I think by far, too. I don't necessarily agree with sending down Montgomery, which they sent to AAA today. The trade for Jaime Garcia, not really a big fan. You really know what you're getting out of him. I guess he's just an innings eater kind of guy. Mm-hmm. But with that being said, I think they're okay. They lost 4 in a row. They won a big 2 games against Cleveland. They could easily lost 3 out of 4, even gotten swept. But we hate on Headley a lot. And he's actually been playing very well recently. As much as I'm not a big fan of him, you got to give credit where credit is due. But I think they're going to be all right. I think they're going to be okay. They're 2 games out in the loss, 3 games behind total. They have a huge series coming up with Boston next week, followed by this week, and then playing the Mets. So that's
They played the Mets this year?
they haven't. They got
This
4
the
games
first
against
time,
the
right?
Mets. Yeah,
Yeah,
2-2,
2-2. Yeah.
Can we get the wild card stats?
which is always
check out
very
the-
interesting. But
DB, you're on the mic here.
The first
There we go.
one up.
Nice job.
So the Yankees are
Yankees.
2 games over.
Mhm.
They're plus 2 point. They're plus 2
For the
games.
first
I-
wild card
yeah.
spot.
I honestly think there's zero chance they don't make the playoffs just because of how good their bullpen is.
So another way to say that is it's 100% that they do make the playoffs?
Yes, including
That's
a
the
wild
more
card.
regular way to say it, but yes.
I'll say it the way I please. You just host. All right. So there's a 0% chance they don't make the playoffs.
0%.
0% chance.
Double negative, but
Asinine.
A double negative is a positive.
I mean, I think they're going to make the playoffs. 100% is pretty certain, but it is certain. But I don't know if it's 100%. But I think they're going to make the playoffs. But the Jaime Garcia, you say he's an innings eater, but you just say how great their bullpen's set up to have starters only go like 5 innings or 6 innings.
Right.
So I agree with you. I don't understand the trade. You had a lefty in Montgomery who's been. I understand he hit a little rough patch and wants him to AAA, but he's been pitching pretty well over the season. A lot better than you thought he was going to pitch.
I mean, he's got the
Yeah.
most strikeouts for rookie in baseball. He's got like 111 Ks, 112
yeah.
Ks, which is a very good amount.
I'm
He's liable to end up 160,
How many innings
170. He's pitched every game in his rotation. So what do you have, 23?
I'm agreeing. I don't
23 starts.
Right.
I don't understand why they.
He's a little less than 1 per inning, I think. But with that being
115
said,
innings pitched.
there you go, and 111 Ks, a little less than 1 per inning.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well-
So I don't know why the Garcia trade was made. I'm assuming they didn't think they were going to get Gray. Now that they have Gray, I would have sent Garcia into the bullpen. Maybe he's a long guy. I know he's a veteran type pitcher. You don't want to do that to, but I don't think it makes sense.
I think there was two reasons. Number one was they weren't sure if they were going to get Gray, but I think also they're a little bit worried about. I think maybe they want to give some people some extra rest down the stretch. I mean, when you look at Tanaka, he's known to pitch better when he has 5 days rest versus 4. So that maybe they want to try to do that. Maybe they're a little bit worried about Montgomery's workload. So I think you're going to see, and they had a 6-man rotation for this last week, and then they sent Montgomery down, which was surprising to me.
Right.
So, Chris, I mean, I don't know. What do you think about that move? Would you rather have Montgomery up there, or are you going to see what Jaime Garcia can do for you?
I mean, I see how it makes sense, though. I'd rather have Montgomery, but just because, he's got more promise and everything, you know what you're going to get from Garcia, really. And the American League, it might be a tough sledding for him, for the rest of the season. But he's an innings eater, and that's what the Yankees are trying to do right now. They're going to eat innings, get through the rest of the season. Maybe Montgomery comes back at the end, and he ends up being a good bullpen piece, or even, who knows, something for us down the stretch, because you don't want to, pitch the guy 200 innings. He's a rookie. He's a young guy. So it makes sense in the sense getting Garcia to eat the innings at the back of the bullpen as a 5-star. I kind of think it makes sense. I do.
You say he's an innings eater, but Donnie's bringing up the stats here. So I think
he always gets hurt.
Garcia, he always gets hurt. And Garcia, has pitched 123 innings. Montgomery's pitched 111. So it's not really it's not blowing him away. And I bet you Montgomery didn't make a couple of starts. Was he the starter right away from the beginning?
No, he was like they skipped him once.
That's
or
what
twice.
I mean. So it's not
He
like
started pretty close.
all right, but it's not like Garcia's.
When I say innings eater,
I know.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
that's what I was gonna say.
I know what you mean. I know what you
Yeah.
mean. Like he can get through the innings.
Plus, he's just not
He
good.
doesn't just get blown. He doesn't get blown away with his starts. I get it.
He'll keep you in the game. Hopefully,
I get what you're saying. But I'm just. But it seems like Montgomery was doing the same thing.
I know, but why waste Montgomery when you can waste Garcia? Because Garcia's
But you
not
got
a
Garcia.
guy that you want.
But you had to trade for him. He wasn't just show
But
up.
we're also, and we can't.
We didn't. What did we trade? Okay, we traded. Who did we trade for that?
But
I
he's
don't
still
even
someone you didn't have to trade for.
I mean, the bottom
Yeah.
line was, I mean, we're in the heat of a playoff race, so you can't waste anything. You need your best pitcher up there, and to me, it's a no doubter. I'd rather have Montgomery up there pitching than
In the
than
race,
Garcia.
right.
So I hope that, like you said, Chris, I hope they bring him back towards the end of the
Yeah,
year,
I think they will.
especially if Garcia doesn't work out.
And I think they got Garcia too, because maybe they're worried about Sabathia's health. He just can't. He came back from injury recently, and Pineda went down for the year. You got to worry about your rotation. Guys go down.
they traded for Garcia because they didn't
got
know they
Gray.
were going to get Gray.
Yeah, that's
Plain
what
and
it comes
simple.
down
They
to.
needed another arm. They weren't going to survive. They didn't feel confident bringing anybody up from.
Yeah, they
AAA.
didn't know for a fact.
Now they have 6 guys as opposed to 5. So whatever. Montgomery gets sent down. He has options left. Whatever the case may be, he'll be back up within, I'd say, 3 weeks.
Just to continue, I want one other big issue that the Yankees are going to have is when Holiday just hit the DL, right? When Holiday comes back and Aaron Hicks comes back, which he's right around the corner, he's going to be coming back any day now. Aaron Hicks, you have 5 guys and 4 spots if you count the DH. All right, you have Ellsbury, Gardner, Judge, Frazier.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hicks and Holiday. That's 6 guys, right?
Yeah.
Forgot about you
You have
Frazier
6
wasn't at the beginning of the year. That's why.
Dude, you have 6 guys in 4 spots.
Ellsbury. Ellsbury's on the bench.
What happens? Yeah, so
That's
Well, Ellsbury's 100% going to be in the bench.
He's
Hicks
going
has
to be
to
the most expensive bench guy.
Hicks
but he's
probably has to play every day. The way he
Really?
was playing before he got hurt. Yeah. He was hitting over 300. His on-base percentage was 4 something. He steals bags. He's got power. He hits. I mean, he was having a great year.
well, Gardner and Judge are playing every day too.
right,
and
exactly.
Frazier's playing really well too.
I'm all for if Frazier stays hot, whatever the key. Let him DH. Holiday's banged up. I'm not saying Holiday's not good. Maybe Holiday get him a little more time at first because that's kind of a glaring hole. I mean, I know Headley's been playing better. But let's be honest, he's got 5 homers out of your first baseman. That's not going to cut it.
Nah,
You know?
yeah. I mean,
So if Holiday
He's had all these like weird injuries and stuff. I don't know if he can play first base.
steroids.
I mean, whatever the case may
let's
be.
be honest here, steroids.
I mean, you want to go out and say
Headley?
that? I'm not sure has he ever
No.
been accused of
well,
Holiday?
it's just that 1 year where he hit 30 something homers.
accuse Holiday.
But it was
He's
it was on the
juicing.
Colorado Rockies where people had
No.
magical seasons.
Headley?
His name?
No.
Oh,
I'm
Headley
talking
or
about Holiday.
Oh, Holiday.
Oh, both of them. Headley 100% juiced.
Well,
that
Headley
year.
probably juiced
35
'cause he's
homers
never
at
done
Petco.
anything.
Yeah,
You
that's
kidding me? He hasn't
what
hit
I'm
more
talking
than
about.
12 since then.
Holiday has never been.
But
Holiday's never been accused. He's been consistently
Nah,
good.
he's a
Wins
Yeah,
coming
he's
out.
been very
I'm
good
calling it out.
offensively.
He's juice guy.
Wow.
These guys just fall apart
Matt
instantly. I know he's an older guy,
He's
but
37 or something like that, right? He's old.
He's not young.
He's old.
He's not a young man.
Steroids. There you go. Look, Matt Holiday, number 6 on the list, around Jim Thome.
What is this? This is
Number
Yeah, here we
10
go.
is Bo
Thanks, Johnny.
Allegedly.
All right, here we go.
This is from
I love this
2009.
man.
First of all,
Wait, let's see this list. Donnie, can you
The
scroll
top
down?
10 biggest major league stars to use steroids.
From
Donnie,
Bleacher
Report.
Donnie, take it away. Donnie,
But
take
you
it away.
can't. There's a word allegedly there. All right.
Well, yeah, they get flat out accused
hold on.
people.
Manny Ramirez was allegedly, and then he ended up testing positive. David Wells was on the
Yeah, see,
That's
I
obvious.
don't know. That guy was so out of shape. How could he be taking steroids? Would he inject himself and then not go to the gym?
All right. Can I?
He would still been in shape.
Hold on. Let me read this list for the people watching.
Please.
Bo Jackson, Manny Ramirez, David Wells, Frank Thomas, Matt Holiday, Jim Thome, David Ortiz, Ryan Howard, Sammy Sosa, Albert Pujols.
All the biggest guys ever in the league.
Yes.
reason.
And I'd say 8 of the 10 probably juice.
Oh, come on. Pujols has come
Pujols
out
is number 1 on that
a
list.
million
Jim Thome
times
didn't juice.
Yeah.
saying
Huh?
that he wants to be
Bo
tested.
so Bo Jackson, David Wells. You don't think I don't think.
I don't think Wells. Bo Jackson, apparently, I think
don't
that's
think
before.
Thomas did either.
I disagree on Tomei also. I don't think he juiced.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
think Thomas
Thome?
took
Not at
steroids
all.
either.
I don't think Sosa juiced. Nah, I'm only. Are you kidding me?
I got real quiet.
That's the are you kidding me?
That guy juiced. He used the corked bat. The guy like anything
anything he could,
illegal he
yeah.
could do.
Oh, actually, my favorite thing of Sosa, I think it was Sosa. But when he went in front of Congress, he pretended he didn't know English. Like the guy was in press conferences with Mark Aguirre, all he has. Then when they asked him a question, he was like, "Oh no, habla inglés."
No, but I wanted to say about the lineup. But you could switch it up every day. It's great to have depth. You know, you have Ellsbury, you got Hicks, you got all these outfielders. It's great.
Well, one thing Cashman said was that when Hicks comes back, this was about a month ago, before Frazier really started playing. He's been
Frazier's
playing
gonna
well.
go
They
down.
said they were going to send him down.
Yeah.
Would that be a
I don't-
mistake?
I don't know because you're not going to send Ellsbury down. He makes too much money.
Yeah,
right?
without a doubt.
Can't send him down. Hicks was playing awesome. Holiday,
You're not gonna send him
sending
down.
Holiday down. I mean, Frazier's the only guy with options to go
You
down.
can't send
He's
Holiday
a young
down.
guy.
Yeah.
No, I know he's a young guy. You can't send these guys down. Frazier's
If you're gonna send anyone down, it's gonna be Frazier. I think
right.
that's
He's the odd
clear.
man out. It's just
But-
a numbers game. He's the odd man out. But
Out of the
if
outfielders,
he's
maybe
ripping,
there's someone else to send down.
Yeah, there is someone
Yeah.
else
Who?
to send down.
Not in the
Garrett
outfield.
Cooper.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
yeah,
you know,
but
he
not an
plays
outfielder.
first
That's
base.
what I'm saying.
but
Not
you
an
can't.
outfielder.
You cannot.
Not gonna
You
use
can't
him.
carry 6 outfielders.
Yeah.
It's impossible. You have no middle.
Right now, the
infield.
active outfield is Ellsbury, Frazier, Gardner, Judge. So then when Hicks comes back, you got 5.
and Holiday would be 6.
And then Holiday
Why is
would-
Holiday an
not an
outfielder, though?
Well, he's a DH.
He's a DH.
Even worse.
Right.
Even
So
worse.
why do you need to bring down...
Well, then it's one less spot. I'm saying if Holiday's manning the DH, then that's still a spot.
What about the Mets?
We got to move on to the
Yeah,
Mets.
let's talk Mets real quick. So
Syndergaard was on Game of Thrones. I think we can move on from
He
that.
threw like
All
a
right, Mets are
sick
done.
spear that nobody saw.
yeah, so that's what he's doing in his free time, I guess. So that's great.
While he's injured.
Probably hurt his arm while he was throwing that spear. But other than that, I mean,
I don't think they actually made him throw a spear. I hope not.
they made. Imagine. But there are a couple other good things that I mean, if you're a Mets fan, I think you're probably excited about it. And we'll ask Donnie because he's the only guy. Only guy. Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna have to get a mic off this guy if he keeps doing stuff like that.
He's just barking
Get him
for
out
no
of here.
reason.
Dog. So they brought up the shortstop that a lot of the Mets fans wanted to see.
Yeah.
Ahmed Rosario, and they're talking about calling up this big first baseman Dominic Smith. So-
Any week now,
My
Alderson said.
boy.
right.
Any week now, not any day now. Any week
You
now.
can't
That could be in a
promise
month.
that.
So I mean, if you look at this team with those two guys, if they pan out, they end up being pretty good. I know, Chris, you said you like the way. Why don't you just talk a little bit about how Rosario plays? You've been watching him a little bit.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love Rosario. I mean, he's a top 3 prospect, right? And
In all of
so that's
baseball.
pretty much a can't. Well, he could miss, but it's not. It's pretty much a can't miss. I mean, the guy's going to be a
Is there
good.
0% chance that he does not become good when he plays?
Is that
Got
a
him.
joke on me?
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
You didn't even say it right.
No.
You screwed it up.
You
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
say it right either.
That's
way.
how hard it is to do. No, but I think that, even if he's not like raking with the bat, he's really good defensively. He's got a cannon. Like, I mean, the guy's going to be around. Reyes is, who's the short? I mean, as Drubel's old, so Reyes is pretty
Right.
much done, right? So,
Rosario is the number 3 prospect in baseball. All right.
It's pretty good.
Yes, excellent. Supposed to be a stud. He was hitting over 330 in the minor leagues. Has very little power though.
it could grow. That could grow.
Right? No, I'm not saying it
steroids.
can't. With steroids, definitely. Not
We
that
need
I'm
Holiday
condoning
to
that.
start talking
but
to him.
Rosario, I mean, he in Vegas he only hit maybe 3-4 homers. I think, Donnie, and that's like a hitter-friendly league. I think we've said that before.
Yeah, it's
Um,
hitter-friendly park.
But if you're the Mets, what do you really have to play for at this point? And if him and this guy Smith pan out, Smith, Conforto, all the pitchers, if they're ever healthy, maybe next year.
There's so many-
No, it's really it's a smart move to bring Smith and Rosario. Have them play the whole rest of the year because then next year they'll have the MLB experience to start every day, and then they could be a good team because you got Rosario and you got Smith. This kid Smith, they say, is like a pro hitter already. Like he's ready. You know what I mean? So you got these two guys there. It makes the lineup. It's a big difference. And then if the pitchers could come back. Now we're talking a really good team
I'm
again.
sorry, I don't want to talk about the Mets pitchers. We talk about them so much. They can't stay
I'm
healthy.
saying
I
next
don't want to
year.
keep hearing about it. I know.
Yeah.
It's amazing that all of a sudden we talk about the Mets prospects has nothing to do with the pitchers all of a sudden, That's how they
That's
get
good
hurt.
for them because
I know,
that's what
it's
they-
good for
Well,
them.
if this team is going to be good,
I know it has
it's going to
to
be
do
with the
but-
pitching.
but-
I mean, when you look at this team on paper and you think about these guys, what they can do, it's not a team that's that far away. If they can re-sign
Right.
Bruce, I know, Donnie, you were talking about that they're going to consider it in the offseason. If you re-sign Bruce, the outfield is very good.
You're looking at top 5 lineup. You're looking at Rosario. No. I'm saying top 5 in the lineup.
Oh, okay.
You're looking at Rosario, Conforto, Cespedes,
Conforto.
Bruce, and Dominic Smith.
Wait, why
That's
Bruce?
A good
Well,
top
we're already
5.
Why gets
spotting
re-signed?
Dominic Smith.
Did
He's
you?
never
I
had
did
that
you
back.
just you re-signed Jay Bruce?
That's what Boo just said.
Oh,
I'm
I'm
going
sorry.
based on
Okay.
that theoretic.
Okay.
Not only did
Theoretic, I
he
apologize.
re-sign Bruce, but you have Dominic Smith batting 5th in a major league lineup. He's never played in any in the major leagues.
No, again,
this is the
Boo
state of the
just
Mets.
said this
This
is
is
all
a
based on
projection.
ifs.
All right,
Projection.
I don't
It's a
know if
projection.
it's end ifs or buffs.
All right, yeah, we're going to...
I'm over the
Let's
Mets.
get
We're
the
done
hell
with
off
the
the
Mets.
Mets.
We're going
Let's
to
get
move
the-
on.
I just want to say one thing last thing about the Mets.
Why?
Why even sign re-sign Jay Bruce?
You
I
have,
like,
you have
I-
no reason to sign Jay.
I
They're
like
not gonna.
I like Brandon Nemo. Guys
Don't you
like
want a
Brandon
guy-
Nemo?
don't you want a
You're-
guy
you're
that's
the only
proved to
one.
do
He's
something?
Italian. He played for Italy.
All right, well, that's why you like
All
him.
right.
All right.
Continue on.
Moving on to a baseball team that's actually very good. We're going to talk a little bit about the Dodgers just because they're on an unbelievable pace. 50 games, last 50 games, 43-7. The first team to do that in over 100 years. I think they said like 43-7. You don't see that in baseball.
That's basketball stuff.
What is going? Why is this team so good?
You asking me
Pick
that
somebody.
It
question?
doesn't
All
sound like
right.
anybody really
Anyone.
knows.
Pick somebody.
Well, started with Phil. Phil, why is this team? How can you go 43-7 in baseball? It's actually just
That's the thing. I think that was the reason why none of us really answered it right away. It's just like you said, it was the first time in over 100 years that a team can go 43-7. So you kind of scratch your head a little bit. How can they be so good? I mean, if you look at their pitching, their pitching's always good. With you got like Kershaw, always Woods pitching. I know
Lights
he's
out.
a little. Had a couple of bad games, but he's pitching lights out.
Right.
You got the
Hill.
best closer in baseball. Hill pitches good.
And Kershaw's in the DL.
Ryu's been pitching well these past couple of games. I think they have a deep rotation,
very
and I think that's
Best
where
closer.
it starts. They have the best closer, and you guys got like Bellinger's hitting, Turner's playing unbelievable. Seager's a great player, and the lineup's deep. Even the guys in the outfield, Peterson, Puig, Those guys
Chris
were
Taylor.
Yeah, those guys were supposed to be,
Chris Taylor.
Yeah,
Chris Taylor.
Chris Taylor's a beast.
What do you want to say about Chris Taylor? There we
Absolute
go.
beast. No, he's
I know, I'm
absolutely
just-
raking. Like I think
No,
he
I
hit
want to hear. Yeah.
4 homers in the last 3 games or something like that.
I mean, now you have Darvish, which is just
Yeah,
he's one of the most
I
dominant
did not
pitchers in
even
the
touch
league.
on Darvish.
and their catcher's very good. Yasmani Grandal is a pretty good hitting catcher.
So I guess my
He's
next
a very
question
good
is,
hitting
because
catcher.
the numbers right now support that they are, is this one of the best baseball teams in history?
I mean, if they continue at this pace, then yeah.
You
I mean,
can't say
If
that.
Kershaw
you would-
comes back,
Hold on. If they win 110 games, you're going to be
So what are some of the other
But
best?
they have to win the World Series.
What are some? Thanks, Donnie, for bringing it up. These are some of the best records, regular season all
Ever.
time, right? And we have the best team who was back in 1906. We'll
Not
skip over
fair,
that
yeah.
one. 116 and 36.
But
That
2001.
counts.
2000. Well, it counts, but I mean, we don't
It's
even
less
know
games,
one
though.
It's a
player
different
on that
era.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's less games.
2001,
Yeah,
which
I
is
know.
recent, though, that Seattle Mariner team went 116 and
Wow.
46.
Imagine.
So that's about what they're on pace for.
Didn't they get knocked down in the
Lost
first
in the
round?
ALCS
They were
to the
in the
Yankees.
first
They did.
round.
No,
ALCS.
ALCS
Oh,
to the
ALCS it was?
Yankees.
in 5 games, Clemens threw a gem in Seattle.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
So in my eyes, they're not the best team of all time.
So we're looking here. What is the
No,
best?
the Yankees.
The 98
The 90
Yankees.
Yankees definitely the best
The
team of all
98
time.
agreed.
They have
Yeah,
120.
maybe.
They have
Yeah,
125 wins.
the
They have
most total.
wins.
Yeah.
most
Swept the
total.
World Series.
They lost 2 games the whole playoff. They ran through everybody the entire year. I mean, that's the best team of all
Yeah.
time. Now you want to say the 27 Yankees
Homer.
because the lineup they had and all the future Hall of Famers they have, fine. But the 06 Cubs, the 1906 Cubs. I mean, they were 116 and 36.
Yeah, but what are we going to talk about? We don't
You
know
can't
anybody
talk
on that
anything
team.
about them. But think about that number. Not 114 and 46, 116 and 36.
Yeah, but
That's
come
like an
on,
800
that's not-
winning
You know, when they
percentage.
talk about baseball, it's like modern era, and
I
what's the
understand
point
that's
of
a
even
dead
talking
ball
about
era.
that?
I get it. But
Forget
it's
about that
something to
era.
be
Yeah.
said. 116 and 36.
Yeah,
You're not going to
I'm
mention
sorry.
it?
I
That is
agree with.
mentionable.
I agree with the win. You can't just. All right, enough.
Disregard it, yeah.
They might have been playing guys that they just, other teams, they just signing players off the street. Like, we don't really know what was going on. It was not an established league yet
I
and
hear
stuff
you.
like that.
I hear you. But put it this way: if the Dodgers win 110 games and win the World Series, they're going to go down as one of the best teams in history.
So
Yeah,
that's
if
the
they
key,
win the
is
World
But they
you
Series.
have to win the
I
World
think they have
Series
to win the World
because
Series.
nobody thinks of Seattle.
Nope.
Nobody thinks of Seattle. 2001. It was Ichiro's rookie year. A-Rod had just left, and they won 116 games. Nobody thinks of them in terms of
Yeah,
the best.
it's-
It's not even the conversation.
It's going to kind
Look
of be
at
like
the-
a Patriots
Look,
thing.
yeah,
when they
look at
lost
the
in Super
Indians.
Bowl.
The Indians right after the 54 Indians won 111 games. What does everyone talk about that 1950 season? Willie Mays' catch in Game 1 of the World Series. That's the team that he did it against.
Of course they
Nobody talks about the team. They talk about the team that won the World
Right,
Series
right.
and what happened. So yeah, you got to win the World Series to be established as the best
And they
team of all
still
time.
they still have to get to these records.
That too.
Of course. Yeah.
That's another thing.
I think they have to go like 45-6 to have the same winning percentage as the Chicago Cubs
Well,
in 1906.
again, you're not going to reach that 116 and 36. That might as well be
No, that's not
untouchable.
percentage.
No
The percentage.
team will
That's less
ever-
games too, yeah. But they could reach 110.
They're on pace for about
Yeah.
110 now, at least.
You know what the crazy thing is about them going 43-7 in baseball?
50,
It's different than basketball, hockey, or football because every day you have a different pitcher,
Oh, that too.
right? You have a different pitcher. So me pitching one day has nothing to do with Mike pitching another day. So if he's off, we're probably going to lose. If I'm off, we're probably going to lose. To put 50 games together like
gotta
that,
be off.
you need 5 unbelievable starters. You need to be consistent. You need a bullpen. Like, there's an old saying that you're only as good as your day's next pitcher. Well, the Dodgers have had 5 great pitchers going for
cool.
basically the last 2 months.
And they're gonna get Kershaw, and they just got Dodgers. They're gonna get Kershaw back.
And they've only improved.
crazy. Yeah.
I heard a stat that they were 52-0 up until, I think, last week in games they had a lead at any point. Think about that.
That's unbelievable.
They could be winning 1-0 in the first inning. They won. 52-0. Now they're 53-1, I think it happened. These are silly, silly numbers, and people have to take notice. I know it's the West Coast, but it's crazy. It's crazy. They have a
We're gonna
ridiculous
see
year.
And they're gonna be in Brooklyn in 20 years.
I got a quick question.
Without a doubt.
Do you guys? You told me this once. You said Jose Altuve has 0% chance to win MVP.
Oh,
He's hitting 364.
all right.
He's
I
up to
know.
364.
Wow,
he's on a tear.
All right.
Does Judge still win MVP?
No, actually, right now Altuve is definitely the favorite, I think. But
Wow.
what's incredible is
completely
Wow.
Chris, listen, unbelievable hitter, and I was
Yes,
looking at his
yes.
stats today too. You know why he was able to go from when I said really had no chance to win to now is
Yeah.
in the month of July he hit over 500.
I know.
That's what I
know.
mean. Yeah, that's
I know.
unbelievable. He was,
But
not,
he was hitting like 320.
But he's up to 364.
330.
He had a stretch, and it's never been done. Speaking of stretches that have never been done, I think he was sometime in July. He was 37 for like 63
Yeah.
in a 63.
Well, I think
you know how
Those are high school numbers.
I know, well, I think he's the best second baseman of all time. I do.
You say some ridiculous things.
I
Why
really
don't
do.
you use these on the Are You Kidding Me?
Well, why is that? And are you kidding me? Because
I was
really
about
not
to
that
curse. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard
At
in my
least the best
life.
I've ever seen.
Oh well, that's a big
That's a
difference.
big
Why?
difference.
Because Cano is going to be considered the best of all time, and I've seen Cano's whole career.
Cano is
You can't say a guy that has 1,200 hits in his career.
I know. What I'm saying is, if with the pace that he's going, he gets 200 hits every year. Every single year, it happens every year. 5 years,
Every
6 years.
year, he has 20.
Yes, go look. Except for
He
his
has.
early
His-
years.
his
Donnie,
last,
put
like,
it up.
4 years.
I think
how
it's like
many years
first.
he had 200 hits?
I think this is going to be his 5th straight year. Let's see if I'm right.
I just
Yeah, I think you're
This
right.
One,
is
two, three,
fourth.
four.
If he gets 200, he'll get
Four.
his fourth.
He had
But he is
177.
4 straight.
Okay.
That's still,
Yeah.
no, that's
So
still
4
a good
straight.
amount. Don't get me wrong. I'm not.
So I mean, like this is a guy that he's still kind of relatively young. I mean, he could, and he's great defensively. So
No, I know.
I mean, this is a great play, and I think that
Roberto
Judge really
Alomar,
cooled off. He's
Rod
down below
Carew,
300 now.
Joe Morgan.
yeah, I
Jackie
know.
Robinson,
But are these
Roger
guys
Swansea.
really going to be better if Altuve does what
I
he
mean,
keeps
look,
doing? Are those guys better?
I know it's a
don't think so.
different era, but if you ever looked at Roger Swansea numbers, they're just like a video game.
Again,
I
we're
just said-
talking
I
about
just said-
modern.
But you can't.
That's what I just said.
But you can't
I'm
discount
gonna
these
re-say
things.
it.
You're right. I
You
shouldn't
can't
discount
discount
it.
it.
All right,
We're
let's
playing
move on.
against baseball players, right?
Listen,
I'm like-
Altuve's great. I think, especially for his size and his stature, I love watching the guy play. He
Forget
hits.
about that. He's just amazing.
He hits.
It's amazing.
He hits. I mean,
All right.
and he's fast. But he's also in a stack lineup with protection all around him.
Not his whole career.
No, I'm saying this
right
year.
now, he is. Yeah.
You know, he's
All right.
All right, so you said a couple Are You Kidding Me
Yeah, we got-
before we even got to the Are You Kidding Me.
30 seconds.
So let's move to the next segment. Donnie's up for this one, the statistician.
Wow.
So Donnie, he said he brought
He's
an
never
Are You
had one
Kidding Me
before.
to the table,
He's never had one before.
and we're very excited about it. So Donnie, shock us. Tell us something that we don't know that's going to come true.
All right, here's where we're going. I'm going pretty simple. It's NFL. I've seen less parity in the league than I've seen in years.
Okay.
Is that the statement?
I'm getting to it.
Oh,
He's going to the 32nd ranked.
I'm going to say that there's going to be 2 teams in the NFL this year that go 0-16. 2 teams.
I like that. Okay.
I mean, I'm going to say, are you
Wait,
kidding me?
can we guess who we think it's going to be?
Yeah, let us guess.
By all means, go. Because I'm not completely sure myself.
Oh, you don't. Okay, you're just saying 2 teams.
I'm going on a probability of teams that I think are just absolute garbage. in
I
the league
understand.
right
Then
now.
I'm going to kick it to when Win said he wanted to
You
come
have
in
to have
first.
2 in
so.
mind, though, right?
Please.
I mean, one of them has to be the Jets.
Jets. Yeah.
One of them is the Jets, correct.
It has to be the Jets.
Like no wide receiver.
in a
right?
suicide pool this year, survivor pool,
Yeah.
I might pick against the Jets 13 out of 16 weeks.
They
17
lost their
weeks.
number 1, 2, and 3 wide receiver from last
No,
year.
And the Bills.
It's crazy.
The
The
Bills.
Dolphins-
no.
The Bills,
Oh.
the Dolphins, and the Patriots have all improved.
Right.
Yeah,
right, right.
the Jets are.
What about the Browns?
No, the Browns.
Browns
are-
might be
I
another
wouldn't.
team.
I
They're
actually
not
wouldn't
Rams.
go with them.
I would
You
say
want
that.
Rams?
Why? Because you.
I'm going Rams.
Rams.
Yeah.
Wait, timeout.
Oh, that would
Timeout.
be-
Are you kidding me? The Rams aren't going to win a game?
The
I
Rams are
don't
pretty
think- I
bad.
think
They have a
man.
good
Chance.
defense.
They have a very
good
good
defense.
defense.
No, but you-
That's
Gurley-
true. They
They
have a
won
good
8
defense.
games last
They have a
year.
good defense. He's right. I
That's
agree.
not my complete argument, though. I'm
Oh.
saying they
Oh,
are
I'm
a team
sorry.
that has absolute. There's a chance that they can, but I'm
Go
saying that there's a
16.
chance that the
Go from
49ers
8
could also go
Oh,
0-16.
All right.
There's a
Well,
chance.
well, they can't both go 0-16.
Well, Donnie,
no, obviously.
No, they're in the same
I'm saying
division.
there's a chance.
look at
The
a tie.
Rams and Jets?
The Niners.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, Donnie, let's. I
missed
mean,
that
we were
one.
talking, Donnie, when we were in Maryland. I think you looked up, and how many games in Vegas are the Jets projected to win
It
this
was
year?
4.5.
That's
Under.
high.
That's a hard
That's a
under.
Hard under.
Well, now we got the
4.5
new
is
line.
terrible.
We
though.
got the
4.5
new line is
as well.
0.5.
That's why you got
Are
to
you going
jump on
under?
that quick.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. If you look at the standings from the NFL last year, how many teams won less than 4 games? Won 4 games or less? I bet you there's probably 8 teams that won 4 games.
Let's see.
So
Right
is
here.
that really that low?
4 games or
He's
less.
putting it up right now.
Yeah.
8 teams. I don't think that many teams.
Okay,
lost
Jets
4
won
games
5
or less.
last year. The Browns won 1.
Jacksonville 2,
That's 2 teams.
Chicago
That's
3, San Francisco 4, the Rams 5. What
The Rams
I say?
won 4
5.
games, by the way. They didn't win 8.
Sorry.
And I think the 49ers could be worse this year.
All right.
Possibly.
Of the-
No, they
So
got
the
more
Rams and the
games.
Niners are going to beat each other Unfortunately for football, one of them has
Right,
they have
one
to
of them
play
has to
twice,
get a win.
and one of them has to get a win. Hopefully, they don't split, and then your thing goes.
No,
they
obviously.
might split. They're gonna
They
split.
might
They're
split.
gonna
Kills my
split. They're gonna win the home game.
2 teams 0-16.
Okay,
I can't
that's
wait.
ridiculous.
I got
by
a
the way,
better-
there's
I got a
one
better
team
team.
in the NFL history to
The
go
odds are
0-16.
awful.
I got a better team that I think could go 0-16.
A better
than
team
San
or a
Francisco.
worse team?
Who?
Like a worse team. Chicago.
Chicago's
I
bad.
agree that there's a chance
Horrible
there too.
D. No quarterback.
They just draft.
I actually happen to like Mike
They
Glennon.
just have Howard.
And they
Like
signed Glennon.
Well, you're in the minority there.
It's okay. That's all right.
That's all right.
I
got a
can't
good
wait
arm.
till the Jets start 3-0 to start the season.
3-0. That's
Imagine-
an. Are you kidding me?
Well, then I still got San Francisco and Chicago. Then at least
All right.
Yeah, there's some really bad.
Maybe
teams
even
in football.
Baltimore.
And you're not even talking
much
about
parity as there
Cleveland.
was.
You're not even
No,
talking
I
about
think Cleveland's
Cleveland.
improved.
1 and
I think they
15.
improved.
They
Wait a minute.
have. I know.
You say Baltimore? Like Baltimore's not going to
Yeah,
win a
because
game?
I think Flacco, if he's hurt, like
If Flacco's healthy, he'll win 3 games on his own.
you think he's that good?
I think the Chargers could be terrible.
You
this
think
year.
the Browns
The
can't have
Chargers
a
are
chance?
terrible.
Flacco's a
Terrible,
decent
yeah.
quarterback.
be 0 and
I'm saying
16.
if Flacco's not there.
I'm
not
going
saying
based that there's a chance.
Okay. All right. I
Well,
got
with Flacco, you're right. With Flacco, they'll win.
There's
at
not that
least
much parity.
4 or 5.
Guys, we got 12 conversations going. I got Donnie talking over there. Phil's talking to Donnie. I'm talking to Chris. Boo,
I'm
control
finishing
this.
out my segment
Let's
strong.
go.
Yeah,
You're
guys.
done,
listen,
Don, you're
I
done.
think everybody's just a little bit heated because Donnie's making some crazy comments over there. But, I mean, absolutely, I think you have to rank right now the Jets as the worst team
Yeah.
going into the season.
Agreed.
I mean,
Agreed.
they are just – and it's going to be – are you going to go to some games this year, Donnie?
Yeah, maybe 1 or 2.
Really?
My brother's a season ticket holder.
They better be
Oh,
early in the
man.
season because I don't know why you're going to go cold weather to go see them.
The New York Jets should be paying people to come to their games. That's how bad they are.
Unfortunately, it's quite the opposite. You still have to pay a hefty fee to go.
Why would anybody in the universe
Oh,
go
your brother,
watch?
your
They're
poor
Jet
brother.
diehard
game?
fans. They're diehard fans, though.
No, they should. Nah, I'm not
They could be
saying that. I
diehard
was gonna
fans
say
and
they
watch
should
on
die.
TV.
Oh, I thought you meant go to the game.
No, why would you go to a game? Why would you go to a Jet game this year? What's
They're diehard
appealing
Because
about
you already
it?
pre-purchased the ticket.
From years
That
ago.
is the single reason. All right, so listen, let's move on from Donnie's Are You Kidding Me? I think it flows right into our first injury report with Dr. Phil.
Dun,
Dr.
dun, dun,
Phil,
dun.
right? This is like a new segment, I guess we're going to try to do. So we all know Dr. Phil. He knows his sports science. He knows his
Sports science.
right. He'll rehab you. He'll get you back on the field as soon as you need to be there. Right? He did it for Win.
Several times.
Several times. He's been hurt since he was like 14. I don't
And
know.
was
He had a
hiking.
broken
I
hip.
was very happy.
But Wynn's never
Never
been
tear to
in-
my eye.
Wynn's
He's
never been in
hiking
better
8
shape.
miles. I know.
Unbelievable.
Hip wise.
You're
Great.
truly like a miracle of modern science.
They're gonna put me in the hospital special surgery website.
He's got
Get
no
me
hips.
back in the game.
He's going to be on the website.
He's missing
the
some
commercial-
toes. I don't even know. But
What, I have diabetes?
Falling apart.
he's falling apart. But this guy, he's hiking because of our man right here.
Because this
Dr.
gentleman
Phil.
right here.
So, Dr. Phil, you're going to shed some light on some of the
I'm
injuries
going to try, yeah.
that are going around sports. I'm going to start with football. I might as well just start with the big news I think came today. Anunwa on the Jets. I mean, I guess there's not too much we have to talk about. It's just another blow
That's
for the Jets. So let's talk about his injury.
And that's
Phil.
a bad injury. It's a bulging disc in the neck, so it's a herniated disc. And we talked a little bit, if you guys remember, with Dallas Keuchel, who came back and then went back on the injury. He missed about 2 months pitching. That can be really bad. You know, when you herniate the disc in the neck, you start to lose. You could lose sensation. You could lose strength in your arms. You can, I mean, really bad. You can lose ability to walk or bladder control. But it's not that bad. But it's bad enough that they're already giving him surgery. They already said he's getting surgery. So that's
Is
why
that a
he's
spinal fusion like?
He will get his spine fused. Prince Fielder retired because of these surgeries.
Can I ask you this? Is this a career-threatening injury?
It could be, because Prince Fielder had one, had the fusion, came back, and he had to get another segment fused, and he retired. David Wilson, you remember the running back on the Giants?
Yeah.
First round pick.
Had spinal stenosis, which is not identical, but they can lead into each other, because stenosis is just losing room in the spinal canal. When you have a herniated disc, you take up some space in that canal. So what's happening is that's what's happening. So to say it's 100% not career threatening is not correct. To quote Hal Wynn.
So you're saying it's
I apologize. I stuttered myself there.
so confused.
But you can't say it could be career threatening. Maybe minor, depending on how big the bulge is, how he responds to the surgery. But yes, his career could definitely be in danger.
How could it not be? Prince
what I'm
Fielder,
saying.
you just said
That's what I'm
plays
saying.
baseball.
Exactly.
Career over.
Exactly.
This guy's going to
He
take
got
hits
2
going over the middle
surgeries,
with a
yeah.
broken spine. Doesn't make
Exactly.
you
sense.
almost have
His
to think. You
crew-
almost have to say he's how could a guy like that even want to come back? He's
He's-
got to be like life-threatening, career-threatening at the same time.
Agreed. He's definitely life-threatening is a little, but it's definitely career-threatening. I mean, it's definitely career-threatening. It's not life-threatening because he didn't break anything. It's not like he fractured his spine or anything like
But
that.
if he takes a hit and he comes back and he takes a hit, it's not.
It could get really bad. I don't know if it's going to take his life, but it could get really bad. But it's probably not at a level where it would kill you. It's probably
Okay.
not up on like C1, C2. It's probably a little bit lower. They didn't release the levels or anything like that. They just kept as bulging disc, requires
So is he
surgery.
guaranteed out for the year?
Guaranteed
Yeah.
out for the year. Possible career threatening.
Wow.
It's a tough
There were-
surgery to come back.
There were a lot of injuries.
Yeah, and then you
recently.
had so,
Yeah, let's talk about Flacco. Flacco's got some
another
back
one that's
issues.
vague. Another one's vague and back.
Yeah.
You never want to mess with the back. Look at Kershaw. You know, I'll relate it to injuries we've actually talked about. Kershaw had the back injury last year that he missed 2 months, and then he re-aggravated
again.
it this year, and he's been out for getting close to a month now.
Yeah.
They're being vague with Flacco. They're saying that it's just muscular, but the longer he's out, the more you have to be concerned about it because it takes a lot of strength from the core and a lot of twisting as a quarterback. And you're looking at Flacco, someone that relies a lot on his arm strength.
Yeah.
So it comes a lot of torque from his body. J.J. Watt had a back injury, came back too quick, had the surgery, came back too quick, missed last year. Gronk's already had 3 back surgeries. Back, we're talking about the neck. The back is not as bad as the neck because the neck's higher, but the back is just as bad.
Speaking of Gronk, you think
I'd
he
be-
stays healthy?
I don't know how he
He
can.
never has. Yeah.
I don't know.
To be
how he
honest,
can.
I don't know how
Like,
he
how
can
old
anymore.
is he now?
He's going like the second round of drafts. Like,
And he-
do you think he should go
With
that
his
high?
no,
Yes.
I would still take him in a fantasy football draft.
Third
yeah.
round, I
Because
think.
when he's on the field, he's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
I think he's a third
But
round.
I don't
Yeah.
know how he can say he breaks his arm, he tears his ACL, he's got 3 back surgeries. Like after a while, you guys say, well, "What's going on?" I don't know if he can stay healthy.
I'm sorry.
But
I
the
just
longer
have-
Flacco's out, I would get a little bit worried. It could be back spasms, but it's been a while now. He might have herniated something, which could be a big problem for him.
Okay. And now there's two
Sorry,
big
what were you gonna
quarterbacks
No,
that
go
are
ahead.
coming back from shoulder injuries, right?
Yeah.
We got these are star quarterbacks, and we're not really sure how it's going to play out.
Luck.
We got Luck
And Newton.
and Newton.
Again, I know I'm saying it's big, but we're talking about injuries. We're talking about big injuries because it's the shoulder. You know, so Luck had a again. They were a little vague with. They've been as vague as they possibly can. All these guys. Luck was a labrum surgery. They say it's a simple labrum repair, which essentially the only thing I can think that it means is that the bicep tendon wasn't involved, which bicep tendon can commonly be involved with a labrum tear. The bicep tendon could be tear, or rotator cuff wasn't torn. So from what they're saying, it seems like that was intact. But the labrum is a tough injury to come back from. The only guy, Drew Brees, had a torn labrum. I believe he also tore his rotator cuff as well because he had a pretty gruesome injury.
Yeah, they were worried about. I remember he signed.
He signed
teams
with
didn't want to sign
the
with.
Dolphins didn't want to sign him.
Yeah.
And only the Saints were the only team that wanted to sign him because of this injury. He had a labrum tear, he had it repaired. His was more complex, but the labrum, it's Johan Santana had a labrum surgery and it really never came back from. So labrum is the lining in your shoulder, and it really has control. It helps with a lot of stability. Like when you feel like if you're feeling your shoulder clunk or click or just feeling like it's a little out of place, it's most of the time, I don't want to say always, but your labrum's somewhat torn or worn away or flapped down because it got torn. So that labrum really helps the congruity of the shoulder. It helps it get a little more motion, which is something you need as a quarterback. You need to go back there and have those extremes of motion. So if you don't have it, he's going to have a lot of trouble. He's not really behind schedule. They say he hasn't thrown
Luck or
yet.
Cam?
Luck.
Yeah.
Luck.
I think
Cam's ahead of
ready.
Luck.
Yeah, I think Cam's almost ready.
Cam only had.
Luck's
I don't want to
gonna
say.
be sketchy.
Cam had rotator cuff surgery, which is shoulder surgery. Again, it's the rotator cuff muscle. Your rotator cuff muscle is the most important things you can have in your shoulder. It has all the stability in your shoulder as well as the power in your shoulder. But it's a little more of a straightforward. You do the surgery, and then if it succeeds, you get your strength back. And these guys are top of the line surgeons, top of the line athletes. So.
Yeah.
You spoke about Santana. It's a huge difference pitching with Santana, a pitcher coming back from a labrum surgery,
True.
as opposed to a quarterback. I think
You're right.
It's the same throwing motion, but pitching, I feel like, puts so much more stress on an arm.
You're 100.
than throwing a football.
You're 100% right. I was just trying to the best. I was just trying to give other comparisons.
Right, no, I hear you.
You're right, but the best comparison is Breeze because you're right. Because you're not throwing it as fast, you're right. It's not.
And you're throwing maybe 30, 40 times a game as opposed to 120.
Absolutely, and in
And it's once
a week.
Yeah.
But you also got to take into play you could get hit while throwing.
Right.
No,
Right.
but Breeze is the best comparison. But out of the injuries, Luck seems to be a simple labor procedure, but Newton seems he's coming back. It's a
Yeah.
rotator cuff. You never want to injure the rotator cuff, but like you said, football's less stress on the shoulder and then pitching. So you're right. I won't compare it to pitching. But Newton's top of the line athlete and top of the line surgeon. He
Newton,
should
I'm not
be
worried
fine.
about. Luck,
He
I'm
should be
worried
fine.
about. A little bit.
Luck, I would be just a little worried about
Yeah.
because the information's being fuzzy.
Yeah.
I don't want to say he's behind schedule yet, but soon is where you have to. If he's not throwing soon, that's when you have to be like,
There hasn't been
okay,
really
what's
good
going
news about
on?
it yet.
He hasn't thrown yet. The first game's in a month.
Yeah.
And he hasn't thrown a football yet.
What if-
Him not being back, I would not be surprised. He might get thrown on the PUP list.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I think
But
a
that's
good
6
question
games
is
then.
That's 6 games, but
Well,
it
that's
comes
huge.
with the roster spot play. Think of, with luck, anyone's expected.
There's no way he's
Yeah.
going on PUP.
Yeah.
What about
It
Tannehill?
depends.
Tannehill, I think we're going to talk a little bit later
Later,
when we
okay.
talk about the question tonight. But just one thing I just want to get on with Luck is, does this affect his fantasy value? Where do you see him getting drafted among quarterbacks in fantasy?
I would have it affect his. And right now, with the news that you hear today, it affects his fantasy draft value.
It has
Because, like
to.
I said, it's a month and he hasn't thrown yet.
Yeah.
Of course, they're being fuzzy. They don't know how far he is to throwing, but he still hasn't. He can't just build this all up in a month.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely. I would say
Sketchy.
put money on he's missing at least one game.
Week 1.
I'd have to know. I'd have to hear a little bit more to start putting more games in there.
But what? So what would you drop him though? Like if let's say he.
So where would you put him
where would
healthy?
you rank?
Where
Like
would
right
you put him
now-
healthy?
He's
Right.
probably a top 4 to 5 quarterback.
I have
healthy.
my rank
Healthy?
already. So
Okay, yeah. So where do you put him healthy?
When he was healthy, I had him.
If you think he's going to play all 16 games, never got hurt.
Yeah, I had him 4th after the top 3.
Okay.
After
And who do
Rodgers,
you-
Brady and Breeze.
Now I have him behind Matt Ryan and Derek Carr.
I would drop him past there. I might even drop him past. I think
you get into
I
the
think
Russell Wilson
I think-
category,
I
Newton.
wouldn't drop past Russell Wilson. Newton has a better chance of a bounce back. If he's going to, Newton's I think is going to start the year.
Yeah.
Newton might have more fantasy
I don't know if I would
appeal,
put him
but the
above
team
Luck.
isn't as good. I'm just.
Yeah.
I think
Kirk Cousins. You put
I
him
think
above
it definitely
Cousins?
it sounds scary to draft, especially
not,
with
right?
It's tough.
that's tough. Because Cousins puts up numbers. You
Cousins
puts
puts
fantasy
up,
wise.
Cousins puts
Look,
up ridiculous numbers.
In
One
real
year, though.
life,
One
you want
year.
luck.
In real life, you won luck. Not even
especially
close.
with quarterbacks, and they're interchangeable. You're not really as consistent as you think they are.
Yeah, and they're
I don't
deep.
know if I'd want to waste Luck right now with this injury news. As a
and I'll
number
leave
4.
it with this about Luck. Then with the injury news, he continues to drop with each day he doesn't throw.
Put it this way: on July 10th, he was going in the 5th round.
Yeah.
August 7th, he's going in the 7th round.
Right.
So
He's
with
dropping.
each
in a
day
standard
he
format.
doesn't throw.
Right.
He's dropped because now the clock's really ticking.
And not only that, it affects T.Y. Hilton, Dante Moncrief. Where are these guys
Oh,
going now?
it's-
If Luck's not available,
it's a domino.
I'm a little worried about T.Y. Hilton going
It's a
in.
domino
I
effect.
think definitely.
It's a domino effect.
If Luck is hurt, T.Y. Hilton isn't a top 20 wide receiver.
Really. That's
Who's his QB?
That's
Who's his
heavy.
QB?
That's deep.
Who's his QB? Is it still Curtis Painter?
No, it's Tolzien. Scott Tolzien.
There's your
Okay,
answer.
there you go. All right.
He's not a
Which
top
is
20
bad,
wide
but
receiver.
hasn't T.Y. Hilton performed when Luck was out before?
No,
Not
not really.
not-
No,
not
it was
how he
bad.
did
I had him last year. It was
He finally
horrible.
put it together last year.
Right, the year before that.
Very
right?
poorly.
Yeah, the year before that. But it wasn't. Was it really that bad?
It was a
Yeah?
bad. It
Yes.
was bad. He's
Yes.
dropping too.
All right. Well, thank you. That was great.
Oh,
I think we got to do that segment a little more often.
Oh,
You're a
thank you. I thought it
genius.
was all right. Thank you.
Did you play Operation as a kid a lot? So I don't understand. How do you know all this
It was my
stuff?
favorite game.
You're a monster.
Will Fuller got hurt, by the way.
How do I know?
I don't know if you.
How
want
does
to
he
talk
know
about
all
Will
this?
Fuller.
He's a doctor, Mike.
hilarious.
I hope
I
he
guess
knows
you really
this.
got to study when you go to whatever it is that you went to.
Physical therapy school.
Physical therapy school. Yeah. Very nice. All right, so we're gonna move on. We started talking about it for the first time last week, and
We have to keep.
I think we got to keep it going
that's
because
worthy. I'm clapped too.
we're gonna talk a little
Absolutely.
Game of Thrones because last night was an epic episode. We finally saw the dragons and the Dothraki make it to the mainland, right? And we saw an epic battle scene to end the episode. So let's just talk a little bit about last night's episode. And Phil, you could start it
I
out.
was just best battle scene of all time. Game of Thrones.
Was that the best
I'm
battle scene
asking,
of
yeah.
all time in the show?
Yeah, I'm asking.
Dragons. But I mean, you know what was a really
Me,
good one?
number one. I agree.
My opinion, I agree.
I might be a
I'll
prisoner
tell
of the
you what.
moment, but
I'll tell you why. We've been waiting 6 years for dragons to really do something.
agree.
And all you heard about was the Dothraki, even
I like
Robert
the way you said
Baratheon. Like in season 1, it's like
fine.
if the Dothraki come here, we're going to be in trouble. When he wanted to kill
They're
Daenerys,
maniacs.
And I'll say one thing too.
dude, they were sick.
I'll say one
were
thing
sick.
for it too. It was I know I know you battle the bastards,
I
but
like that. Yeah.
but Jamie versus Daenerys, I think, is bigger than Jon versus Ramsay.
But they didn't even really do anything.
But they were the opposing generals, so to
Right,
speak.
right. But
And then
It
Tyrion
was
trickled
sitting
in,
ducks.
sitting up
I know,
top,
I'm
is
just saying.
looking at his brother
Those are the
about to be
two
burnt
main
alive.
guys,
yeah,
That's
I just
sick.
like the fact that in the Battle of the Bastards that John was losing, and
This was not.
It looked like
this,
he was done.
This
You
was
know, that was
never in
sick.
question. This battle,
Well,
except the dragon.
I'll give you another
With
really
the
good one too. Was the battle scene north of the
wall.
wall?
Yes.
Oh, that was
That
good
was
one.
a sick scene.
That one.
With the
Actually, I
White
take it back.
Walkers.
That was my favorite one.
That was
That was my favorite.
That wasn't
Hard
even
home.
last season.
Hard
Was that
home.
season before?
Wait, with the White Walkers?
Yeah.
Hard one, excuse me.
Yeah.
Which one? Oh, right.
When he
John
raised
took the
everybody
boat.
up.
They took the
Yeah.
boat away. Yeah,
And
yeah.
John killed the
Sick.
Walker.
There's
That's it.
so
That's
many
number
great.
one.
What about
The one on the wall.
The
On the wall. Yeah.
Oh, what about Blackwater in season 2?
There's a lot of good
Yeah.
ones. There's a lot of
It's
good
the best show of all time. Anybody who thinks differently, go have your head examined. Pretty much.
All right,
You
so
know
let's
what?
talk about how the episode ends yesterday. We see, I guess there's going to be spoilers if you didn't watch it yet.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler
Just,
alert.
spoilers.
Mute it for a second.
We already spoiled
and we'll
some
let
stuff.
you know when you can come back. But yeah, we might have already spoiled some of it for you. But at the end of the episode, we see Jamie he's going at the dragon, and somebody knocks him off into the water to basically
think it's
save
Bronn.
him. We think it's Bronn.
It's
So,
Bronn.
I mean, the question really is, what is next for Jamie Lannister? What's going to happen as the season continues? The beginning of next episode probably will start with him.
It's your boy.
So, Chris,
It should.
Chris, first of all, I know you were huge. That's like
Yeah,
your
that's-
guy.
I don't watch the show if he's dead.
So, I mean,
I stopped watching.
can
the
we
show.
all agree that he's not? Well, at least we think
He's
he's
not dead.
He's
Because
not.
if you wanted to kill him, you kill him right then and there. Vaporize him with the dragon.
Why
right?
have
Why
Bronn
have him
save
save
him?
him? Right?
Agreed.
There is
That makes
He's
sense?
alive.
There's probably a 0.5% chance that he's dead.
Yeah.
And the only reason doing 0.5 is
He is
because it's
sinking.
Game of Thrones.
He was
Exactly.
sinking
So
to
there's
the
a
bottom.
0% chance that he's not dead. So is there a 100% chance that he's alive?
No, he said
99.5%
Okay.
chance. he's
I
alive.
really don't like the way you keep saying those
percentages,
stats.
All right.
I don't. But
It's my thing.
so, Chris, if he's not dead, what do you see happening to Jamie? And you're hoping he's not dead.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably they'll just take him as hostage. They're going to take him out of the water. Him and Bronn, they're going to be hostages, kind of, with some other soldiers that they have that didn't die. And then I think Tyrion's going to end up talking to him. You know, he hasn't seen him in a while. He still cares. They still care for each other, and he's going to get Bronn and Jamie to come on their side, and maybe they're going to use Jamie
disagree with
to
that.
kill Cersei.
By the way, I disagree with that.
Why do you
Perhaps.
disagree, Phil? Why?
What has Jamie done that makes you think because of this he's going to turn on Cersei?
I've seen a couple of things.
I agree that I know you guys talked about it last episode, wasn't here, but I agree with the whole end result that Jamie will eventually turn on Cersei because Cersei will go too crazy. But at this moment, what has led you to believe right now that they're going to pull Jamie out, and what could Tyrion say to convince Jamie to turn to become on the side that just burnt his whole army?
Right. If anything, now
Can I
he's
say something?
more
He's
against
more
the other
against
side
than
than
ever.
Can
ever.
I say something?
It's a good question.
My
Of
little.
course. Opposing.
This is my little thing. So
My Little Pony.
I agree with Chris that I think Tyrion and
You didn't
Jamie.
answer my question.
No, I'm going to explain. Tyrion and Jamie end up working together, and I think Cersei is going to figure out somehow that, or maybe Jamie just tells her, listen, blah, blah, blah. She's not going to like that. She's going to attempt to kill Jamie
Really?
because she's all messed up in the head. She has nothing like going for her. Kids are dead. She's going to attempt to kill Jamie, and then that's when I think Jamie says, you know what, and kills her. That's how I think.
deep.
That's how I
just
think it
disagree.
happens. You heard it here. That's how I
look,
think it happens.
Cersei trying to kill Jamie, not far fetched because she's crazy.
No, I don't
Yes.
think it'll ever happen. I mean, what is
It's
it?
all, how about
They
this?
love
How
each
about
other.
this? How about this? I'll just say.
Forget about that,
You're
just
right
the
about that.
family.
How about this? It's more. I think it's more far. I think Cersei trying to kill Jamie right now, well, in the future, is less far fetched than Jamie just siding with Daenerys right now.
No, I don't think it's
I
going
don't
to be
think
right
it makes
away.
sense that she's.
I think
I don't think it's gonna be right
Jamie
away.
and Tyrion are they're close.
And
I
that's going
think
to play into
exactly.
it.
I think
Yeah.
Tyrion is going to convince them,
I disagree.
convince him somehow, not completely, but put some thinking in his head. Cersei's going to do something
And then
stupid
maybe down the
to,
road,
right,
you say,
to
okay.
push Jamie towards Tyrion, and then I think Jamie ends up killing Cersei.
Maybe down the road.
All right,
Yes.
DB
Yes.
wants to get
DB 's
involved.
trying to get
I mentioned this already last week. I think the thing that puts him over the top is that she will somehow be responsible for Tyrion's death.
I agree with that
Yeah,
too. I
absolutely.
agree because Olenna Tyrell told Jamie that Tyrion was not the one to kill Joffrey. Cersei's going to find that out. Jaime's going to know. Cersei's going to know that Tyrion wasn't the one, and she's still going to torture or kill Tyrion, and that's going to put Jaime over the edge. So
Yeah,
I agree.
agreed.
That
You
one
think
I
so,
agree with
huh?
more. That's what I agree
Well,
with.
that's what would put her over the top because right now, like you
I
said,
don't
neither
think
of them are fans.
she's
of
never
the
going
other
to forgive
side.
Tyrion. Even when she hears,
No, yeah.
she's still not going to
She's
believe
gonna
it.
try to kill him,
exactly.
yeah.
She's not going to believe it. No, still him. So
But I think Jamie, it's going to take a couple episodes maybe before
Okay.
Jamie actually becomes part of.
I'll believe
the
that a little bit
Daenerys.
more. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
One thing's for sure. I mean, it was sick to see the dragons in action.
Yeah,
and you actually got to see how powerful they are.
We didn't even
just destroying everything.
And
Yeah.
let's not. I mean, I guess we can save this, but what about John and Khaleesi?
Yeah, I think that
Daenerys.
might be. Yeah.
We can save
Might
that
be
for another
saved.
time because
It
it's
might
going to
be
get much
saved, yeah.
bigger. You know,
Yeah,
I know
might
we
be
got to go to the
saved. One thing,
QOTN, but
One thing for sure, sick episode, unbelievable battle scene, and I think we're probably going to see a lot of them in the coming. And there's not that many episodes left. There's going to be a lot.
Was there 3
of scenes
this
like
season?
that? 3 more.
Yeah.
And so we got to stay tuned for that. All right, spoiler alert is over. We're moving on to our question of the night. Our question of the night is the Miami Dolphins this week. They decided with the Tannehill injury, which we'll touch on in a minute. Tannehill, they're expecting to be out for a while, so they had to sign a quarterback. There were a couple options out there, and they decided to go with Jay Cutler over the other quarterbacks out there, which included a guy that a lot of people thought they should have gave a chance, Colin Kaepernick. So, Chris, what do you think? Did they make the right choice? Do you think Cutler is a better quarterback or a better guy to have on your team than Kaepernick?
It's a tough choice because they're both not good. So it's like choosing between,
the
Well, we don't-
lesser of
who
two
else was
evils.
out
Yeah.
there? I'm not sure, really. There's not a
There
lot
aren't
of
many.
guys out
Free
there.
Well,
agents,
then you got
whatever.
Matt Moore.
secretly RG3's out there.
Oh, please.
I still like them. But anyway,
Nobody
between
said
those two
anything.
guys, I guess nobody likes them. But I like them. I don't think it was obviously be a good choice to start at
He's
quarterback
number
for the
3
team.
out of the 3 guys we're talking
No, because
about.
of his injury history too. But between Kaepernick and Cutler, here's the difference. They both have cannons. Okay, Cutler has more experience, playing experience on the field, and maybe Cutler's more accurate. I'm not really too sure.
Maybe.
Maybe
Yeah,
they're both
way
inaccurate.
Way more accurate.
They're
than
both
Kaepernick,
inaccurate.
though.
Anyway, yeah, Cutler's more accurate, but you got the wheels of Kaepernick. And I think that might play well on Miami. I mean, that's something that you can
The
use.
Wheels of It sounds like a Game of Thrones episode, The Wheels of Kaepernick.
The wheels of Kaepernick.
I think Kaepernick should have a job. I
yeah,
think he's.
agreed.
I think he's good enough to be not maybe not a starting
A
quarterback,
backup.
but a quarterback on a roster in the NFL.
Yes.
I think there's no denying that.
I agree.
However, I do think
He
Cutler
tarnished
is better than Kaepernick at this stage
Wait,
in his career.
oh, really? You
I do because I think just simply you add in the fact Gase is there, right? He had his best year
Gase
with him.
helps.
Gase is huge. That means a lot.
Okay,
An
what about
offensive
the
coordinator
fact-
with his best system with Cutler, right? They have experience. They have good wide receivers. They have land. They have a good running game. This is probably one of Cutler's better teams in his career. Granted, he had Jeffrey and Marshall, but he's never been on like a.
Are Dolphins that good?
I
The
don't
Dolphins
think they
are pretty
are.
good.
They're-
Okay,
they're-
all right.
I mean,
Wait,
Wait,
I
we're
thought I
talking
was
about
missing
offensively
something.
right now.
I'm talking about
Sorry,
offensively. I'm talking about
offensively.
All right, you got Jay Ajayi.
Yeah,
Right.
and you got two good wide receivers.
I
and-
Better than
Still-
Jeffrey and Marshall? Then you just
No,
Well,
I'm saying,
I don't
but
think
I'm
it's better
saying
Jeffrey
all
Marshall.
things considered, their offensive line is better. He used to get killed on the Bears.
The offensive line was
Killed.
terrible.
That's true.
That's
you know,
true.
if you give Cutler time, he will light people up. It's just a matter of getting the pieces around
I
him.
think
Wait a
that's
minute,
little-
wait a
That's a
Come
little.
on.
That's a
You're
little
gonna-
stretch.
His stats over the years are not.
He
very
throws a
good.
lot
He
of
throws
picks.
a ton of picks. You
I
can't blame that on the
understand
O
that. I
line.
understand that, but I think Cutler is a legitimate NFL quarterback with a rocket arm.
What about the fact that he said, "I'm not in shape, but I'm just a quarterback"?
I
it's
think-
not a big deal.
Why
I
would
think
he
he was
say
making
that?
a joke.
Doesn't- What do you mean
That's-
a joke?
That's another
It's not
problem.
a big
He's
deal.
a head case
That's what,
too.
and he's not in shape.
Well, you want to talk
He's
about
a
head
big-time
cases?
head
We got
case.
2 head cases.
Yeah,
here.
they're both head cases.
But I mean,
guess.
Well, at
here's
least
the question.
Kaepernick's in shape.
I mean, Chris, if
we know
if
that?
Kaepernick doesn't have all this stuff from last year, dragging behind
He's on a
him,
team.
He's on a
somewhere.
team.
he's somewhere?
Yeah, I think
yeah,
so.
Unless,
Yeah.
look, the only thing
that
I'll say,
tarnished him.
unless he truly will not take anything but a starting job. Because I'll say,
Is that a report?
I said
haven't heard
unless.
it.
I don't know.
Oh,
No. Oh, I have no idea. I have no
Well,
idea.
who is
I'm
he
sorry.
to just
no
say
report.
that I want a starting
But-
job? Or
but
I'm
some
not
At this
gonna
people-
play?
point, especially.
But yeah, no, I agree. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Unless he's saying that I only want to be a starter, he should have a job because
He's talented enough.
He's talented enough to be a backup. Somewhere. I heard a report. I don't know how true it is that the Dolphins were thinking about Tim Tebow. You can go Tim Tebow over Colin Kaepernick.
What do you mean? He's a
No.
thriving baseball player.
No, they didn't say that, did they?
Yeah, I did read that.
I read that. That's all I'm saying.
That's really
Look,
bad.
Tebow.
It's clear. Look, he should have a job, and for some reason they're not out there that he's not having.
Look,
Katie
got
is
comment.
well,
Katie.
yeah, we got comment. I'm sorry, I was trying
What
to read
was
the
that?
comment.
He's kind of a PR risk. Absolutely right. And I mean, listen.
But he's not the first PR
So is
risk out
Cutler.
there.
But he's a PR risk.
And not as much as
Cutler isn't
Cutler.
like Kaepernick, right? And I think a big part of it is the Dolphins, they feel like, and you said it before, when they're actually not that bad of a team. Now, if you're looking at a team that is projected to win a couple of games, maybe they take I think they feel like they're close. They don't want to just blow everything, because Kaepernick could be more of a disaster. I think it's more of a risk signing Kaepernick.
Wait, no. Here's a question: Is Tannehill is out for the entire season? Is that correct?
They would not sign Cutler if he was
Tannehill's
there.
out for the year.
So he's out for the year.
Let me.
Now, let me just say something. Do you understand that Cutler, his whole career, when he goes into possible playoff situations, how many times has this guy, first of all, completely chokes?
Yeah.
Second of all,
Sorry.
the guy is not a warrior. He'll sit on the bench.
He
and
sat
not
on the
play.
bench.
You want that guy over Kaepernick, who all he did was make a statement?
I'm not saying
statement?
Kaepernick doesn't deserve to play.
Chris, I'm with
And
you. I'm with
Kaepernick's
you.
the best
I'm with you,
guy, I
Chris.
think.
John, we have a comment. John said that he thinks Kaepernick will get them more wins, right? And John, I know you're a big fantasy guy, but I don't think that either one of those guys is going to get him a ton amount of wins. But I
just
think
said the Dolphins
I
were
think
good.
Cutler has more upside than Kaepernick.
Really?
I don't know. What?
Kaepernick brought a team to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Cutler went to the
I
NFC Championship game and
understand that.
didn't play. No,
He
one.
brought
Well, he
them
went to
to
the Super Bowl and then the championship.
Yeah.
He brought them to the Super Bowl, and he what has he done since then? He's been nothing but
What
really
has
bad.
Cutler done
He fell
since
apart.
anything?
Cutler's never really on a
Name one.
good.
Big,
I gotta say-
name one big game that Cutler has even
Can you
played
pull
in
up Cutler's
to win a
numbers,
win.
please?
Cutler is one of the most
Absolutely.
overrated quarterbacks of all time.
Agreed.
I'm not saying
Agreed,
he's
because he has all the
amazing.
talent in the world.
I'm not
And he doesn't
saying
do
he's
anything with
amazing.
it.
All right, Donnie
but
brought up Cutler's
but he's
stats
better than Kaepernick. I'd rather have him than Kaepernick.
21 and 11,
I'm sorry.
21,
Okay.
28 and
20
18,
and 14, 25 and 18, 27 and 26.
19 and 12, 19 4. Always hurt.
Dude, these
Shit.
are bad.
These are
Yeah.
not good numbers when he's never
No.
thrown 30 touchdowns.
They're not good.
Not
Well,
good.
in a
Talking about this
passing
guy.
league.
Yeah, and he's not throwing 30 touchdowns. Talk about his completion percentages. All right, it got better with Gase at 66, 64, but he had 58.
Look, the year he had
58.
Gase, he had his best year. He threw for 3,800 yards, 28 touchdowns, 18 picks, a lot. I'll give you that.
He's
right?
never
But we don't
thrown
get on
30
Eli that much
touchdowns.
when he threw.
It's true, but he's also thrown 30 touchdowns and won 2 Super
And
Bowls.
Eli's also
He's won
plays
2
every
Super
game as an
Bowls.
Iron
I
Man. He's clutch.
Yeah,
understand.
please don't
You
don't
guys
you
would get-
dare
and-
ever don't you dare ever
Don't
bring
compare
Cutler
to
into the
Eli.
same conversation as Eli Manning.
It's 2 Super Bowls.
I mean, Eli's
Damn it!
Eli's known as like a great teammate and everything. This guy's a sulker.
Listen,
you know,
I
he-
love
Yeah.
Eli. I'm just saying.
Smoking Jay Cutler. We got Colin
you're
Kaepernick.
bad
Hold on a minute.
comparison.
Hold
We
on a
got
minute.
Colin Kaepernick
I'm getting
stats up.
killed here for Cutler. What has Kaepernick done? That you guys are all on Kaepernick's bandwagon.
You also have to look at his rushing yards if you're going to do this.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't just look at the passing
Guys,
touchdowns.
come on.
Well, I
16
find
and 4. That's pretty good.
what I find you said
Was that 16
you
and
said
4?
that Cutler has more of an upside than Kaepernick. That's actually
Those
somewhere.
rush
where
Have
I-
you? Did you watch the 49ers play all last
No,
year?
what?
He's horrible. He
Oh,
was missing
on
guys.
a terrible team.
And you're talking about bad teams. That team was horrible.
Horrible.
Oh, the Bears were a juggernaut.
No,
I
but
know.
with the Bears, he had the Bears with Forte on the team. He had the Bears with a decent offensive line at some point. And this
I
year,
don't
the
know if
Bears'
it's
offensive
decent.
line is good. And then, I'm serious. And then the receivers, he had Jeffrey. He always had Marshall for his whole career.
I
he had
understand
guys.
that.
He had
I am
guys.
just not a big fan of running quarterbacks in the NFL. They get hurt. They don't. This isn't college. There's a reason he didn't have a job. Okay, last year, and
I guess Cutler's
he was in
safe for
Chip Kelly's offense.
terms
Is
of
perfect
injury.
for him.
Well, Chip Kelly was obviously a bad coach.
I understand
for
that.
NFL. Can
I
we
mean,
agree?
listen, I
he was
mean,
on a horrible
What do
team.
you think? You didn't give any opinion.
I think that Kaepernick is the better quarterback. I'm not a fan of Jay Cutler at
I
all.
ain't either at
Not a
all.
big fan of
I
Colin
think that he's
Kaepernick,
a
but
horrible
better.
teammate. I think that he's not a very good quarterback, and I think that Kaepernick would have been a better option.
agree with him.
I wish that
I've seen Cutler light teams up at times though.
But
When he gets
you
hot,
can say that about
come
Kaepernick.
on.
What about the Kaepernick? Didn't he have that playoff
letting
game
teams
where he
up.
lit up the world against
I-
the Packers
Yeah.
in the
that-
playoffs?
that defense that the 49ers had was ridiculous, right? The Packers' defense was atrocious. You're talking about one game. Cutler's done it. Cutler's been in the NFL starting quarterback in the NFL for 12 years.
Plus, what's the age difference? Can we talk about the age difference?
It's only a 1-year deal, whatever. It doesn't matter.
All right. Well, we got to wrap it up. I mean, I think Kaepernick will find a job somewhere, but I mean, it's interesting. I think that if there wasn't so much political stuff behind it, he probably would be playing
100%.
somewhere.
I have to agree with that.
100%.
Which
So,
I think is kind of
well,
that's stupid.
I don't know.
And I agree with that.
It remains to be seen. But thanks a lot, guys. Had a fun show. Donnie, 5-man booth, worked out nicely. Good to
Nope.
have you here.
Thanks, D.
What did you just say?
I think he barked
Did you
again.
bark again?
It's a rabid dog. So that's going to do it for this Monday show. Please come back next Monday. Bridgeside Sports Live. We go on air at 9 o'clock. Always appreciating your shares and your likes. So please, if you're watching this online on Facebook, please hit the thumbs up, share it, help us get the word out. And any last words anybody wants to say before we talk about tomorrow's show?
Well, the only thing I wanted to say quickly about the whole Cutler Kaepernick, I don't want to get into it, but I think Kaepernick does have a little more upside just because I think with Cutler, you know what you're getting.
You don't want to
He's-
get into it. You're getting into
know,
it.
I know, I
I got to
know,
respond to that.
I don't wanna get
No,
into
no,
it.
no.
The
all
show's
right, final
ending.
thoughts, final thoughts.
Oh, he's got
That's
something
final
to
thoughts.
say, this guy.
So tomorrow night, check us out for content, Bridgeside Sports. We're going to be on the air. We're going to be putting a lot of clips on throughout the week, so just check it out. And like I said, help us get the word out. Thanks for watching on this Monday night. We'll see you next week. All right, take care.
Yeah, man.